Hello everyone, welcome again to Get a Buzz with Art. And today we have one of our local artists, Troy Eittreim. Hi Troy.
Hey Ron, how are you doing?
Good. Why don't you give our viewers a little background on how you got involved with the art from the beginnings and all the way through your training in Savannah?
Well, I started as a little kid. I was drawing and painting at the grandparents' kitchen table and just enjoyed it quite a bit, got some affirmation and thought this is what I want to do. So went to Savannah College of Art and Design.
When I hear that people start young, I always like to ask, did your parents encourage or discourage?
I had relatives that encouraged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So then your formal training was?
At Savannah College of Art and Design. I studied painting and illustration and art history.
So jealous. I think we had that conversation before.
Yeah.
Love to go to the Savannah School.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Great school. So then, where are you now? You're in Jacksonville.
I'm in Jacksonville. Well, let's see, I moved around quite a bit as a kid, and my family ended up here in Jacksonville before I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. I moved away. I'd moved to Atlanta and then LA for a while, and came back here about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay. And you've been pursuing something a little different. Most of the artists I have on have been acrylic or mixed media. Troy does something a little different.
I do.
Tell us about your style.
I do what I would call digital painting.
Okay.
So I use Photoshop and Illustrator, and I draw and paint in these programs rather than oil or acrylic.
Okay. So you brought a piece with you.
I did.
What was your inspiration for this piece? What's the title of it, first of all?
Something to the effect of man leaving with chair while woman lists.
And so tell us what would you do to start this?
This one, I think I was just kind of doodling around and did some big abstract shapes, and so was just playing with the color, this sort of wine and pink color. And then I did a little drawing, and I imported that into Photoshop, and just started drawing some more, and just sort of bounced back and forth between Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay.
So do a little drawing here, and then put it into, say, in Photoshop or in Illustrator, put it in Photoshop, sort of smudge it up a little bit, go back into Illustrator, and just bounce back and forth until I get what I want.
I don't know if the viewers can see this, but I thought he had painted in or marked in with a marker the chairs and everything, but that's not true. You actually imported from Illustrator into Photoshop.
Well, yeah, most of it, though, is just drawn. I use basically just the thumb pad. I used to use a mouse, but that became cumbersome, so now I just do everything right there in the thumb pad.
Okay.
So.
And we're going to take a look at another piece of yours.
Okay, great.
And we're back. The second piece you brought with us, what's the title of this work?
I think this is Explorer with Tablet arriving and hunting Terra.
Okay. And how did you go about putting this piece together?
Again, Photoshop and Illustrator. And I had taken a photograph, is the background. And then I drew in Photoshop the sort of big figure. And then for fine detail, I go into Illustrator and I make all these, little flower shapes, and then put them back in Illustrator and color them and sort of blur the edges a little bit, and just kind of build it up.
Really interesting piece. And I noticed, if I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of Indian influence in your pieces?
Yeah, I used to be very influenced by Robert Rauschenberg and sort of a collage and repetition. But after a while, I became very interested in Indian miniature painting and Indonesian Kemasan style painting. And they're just sort of beautiful and delicate and fantastical. And I just really like them quite a bit.
Good word for your painting, fantastical.
Thank
you. Really is. I don't know if you can see all of this, but there's a boat in the background, kind of a Napoleonic figure, an Indian background, beautiful colors on the bottom. It's really a real nice piece.
Thank you.
So if people want to find out more about Troy or purchase something from you, how can they do that?
I have a website, troyettreim.wordpress.com, or Facebook.
Very good. So one last question.
Sure.
Any artist, living or dead, that you'd love to have dinner with, who would that be and why?
I think that would be Robert Rauschenberg. He was very influential for me early in my career. I was very inspired, and he just would take sort of everyday objects and make crazy art out of it, and it was just sort of blew my mind when I first saw it, and
Okay.
I'd like to talk to him about that.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
This is Ron Episcopo, and have a wonderful day and go out and get a real buzz with art.